This is Discovery Lounge. This is a history of Faith Lutheran Church from many perspectives of members who have been here at Faith learning, growing, serving God in many and various capacities. Today's video is from Dr. David and Susie Knuth. Now, Dave and Susie have been members here of Faith for a very long time, about approximately 40 years, when David came here to practice as a doctor. And they both show some very wonderful insights as to the history. Now, just to remind you, there are three questions that I ask them to talk about. The first one is, what are your most fond memories as a member of Faith Lutheran Church? The second question is, what is the most significant event that you can think of in the life of Faith Lutheran Church and school? Thirdly, how do you see the future as members of Faith Lutheran Church and school? So I give to you guys Dr. David and Susie Knuth. Thank you.
What were the three questions?
Okay. The first question is, what are the memories that you're most fond of?
I guess we can go.
That was the first.
That's the most significant event.
Most significant. Second is how do you see the future? Who's the third?
Oh, should we go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I would say that probably the most significant memory is Mo Ranch. We camped as a congregation for at least 20 years in an area just west of Hunt, Texas, in an old Presbyterian camp, and it allowed us to bond with our fellow congregants in a setting that was away from the church, and it sort of allowed us to see each other in a, quote, natural setting. And I mean that not only in our surroundings, but to see each other without the makeup, without the pretense, without all these other things. And it allowed us to grow closer as a congregation. And we played games, we fellowshiped, we danced, we sang, we had Bible study in some of the most primitive circumstances, and yet looking back on it, and our kids and I think other friends would say the same thing, that it was one of the most significant times of their lives, and we look forward to it every year. It was a 4-day time period, and I think that it helped us grow closer as a congregation, and helped us grow in faith. No pun intended, but we grew in our faith, and it's something that I wish we could recreate that. I'm not sure we can, but it's one of my most significant memories.
Cool. Okay, mine is also the campouts, but I should pick another one since he's expounded on that a little bit. But mine, I guess, would be the women's circle that developed. We had just one circle for many, many years. We didn't have a daytime and an evening time one. We had one circle, and it was nice because it was very multi-generational. The younger women appreciated the wisdom that the older women had, and the older women enjoyed mentoring and giving examples to the younger women, and they were, as a young mother, I really appreciated how much of a great example they were all to me. I still remember them. They're all in heaven now, most of them, but I still remember them all very fondly. We had potluck suppers. We had a bazaar. Once a year we had a bazaar, and we worked all year to make stuff for that. And every meeting we had a really good, well-developed Bible study. And I sort of miss that multi-generational aspect of the women's groups now. Next question was related to the most significant.
Most significant event.
Right.
You can put your finger on.
Right. What was yours?
Well, I think the establishment of a new campus. I think in 1985, when we moved over here, we had been sort of landlocked on the university, and we had a small A-frame sanctuary, and it held people, but not to the extent where we could have parking for everyone that came. And it was we knew that it was time to move, and we purchased this piece of land and then designed a church building that was a little bit different than most sanctuaries. It had more of a fan-shaped, and we thought that would again bring people closer together other than the conventional, nave concept that the narrow nave concept that had been in the past. And I think moving over here and then shortly thereafter establishing a school, I think that was some of the seminal events, in our congregation that were, highly significant, because that allowed us to grow, number one. Number two, it allowed us to enter a mission field that was sort of a natural extension, especially in LCMS, which is having an educational system for our youth. And I think that was a really highly significant event, and hope it continues to be that way, because I think that the future is educating our youth, because that is the future of the church.
I guess my vision for the future, or I guess my important event, was also the starting of the school. I've been involved a little bit with it as serving on the board, and I see what a wonderful mission opportunity it is for us. But as far as my vision for the future, I would like to see, us continue to try and bring some of those unchurched school parents to worship with us. But I think my biggest vision for the future is a vision of a church where the young and the old value the opportunity to worship together, value the examples that are available to them for solid Christian families and for solid Sunday school teaching, and that they will value, everybody in the church will value the opportunity to grow in Christ together and take advantage of the opportunities to worship and learn together.
Yeah, I look to the future. I look at what's happened in the near-term future, and that is, for the last year, we've been battling a global pandemic, which has impacted everyone's lives, both inside and outside the church. But the church has had its own series of struggles, and the only way I see, or one of the ways I see, I shouldn't say the only way, but one of the ways I see us doing that is through education. And I've always been a big proponent of Sunday school and Bible study, and obviously I've done it for almost 4 decades now, and I think that's really an important thing. I look back on the history of the church, and the church in America especially. We had in the 18th and 19th century 2 great awakenings, and I'm hoping that this will lead to a sort of a 3rd great awakening, that the church will start to grow, and there will be a flourishing of the church. I think about our church's name is Faith. We want to express our faith. We want to extend our faith. We want to experience our faith. We want to enjoy our faith. And I think that we need to study our faith and to grow in our faith. I think that's sort of what I would look at as future.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for especially redoing this again.
Well, it wasn't exactly the same things we said, but
No, but I'll say this, it was just as poignant. So thank you. Appreciate that very much.